love, 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 till I hear the breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello and welcome to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich and our guest today is Fr Eugene Ashkar, who is a Catholic priest in Victoria. Welcome to the program, Father.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And today we'll be discussing Our Lady Queen of Peace's message from December the 25th, 2019 and also January the 25th, 2020. So we'll start with 2019, Father, and then we'll talk about it.
Very good.
Our Lady said, "Dear children, I'm carrying my son Jesus to you, for him to bless you and reveal to you his love, which comes from heaven. Your heart yearns for peace, of which there is less and less on earth. That is why people are far from God and souls are sick and heading towards spiritual death. I am with you, little children, to lead you on this way of salvation to which God calls you. Thank you for having responded to my call." So I'll start with, "Dear children, I'm carrying my son Jesus to you for him to bless you and reveal to you his love, which comes from heaven." So Our Lady wants to give us everything. She wants to bring us, Jesus. She's coming with Jesus for him to bless us and reveal to us his love. We need to feel his love.
Yes, well, a lot of the images of Our Lady is that of holding the infant Jesus or the child Jesus in her arms and sort of looking out and almost offering him to us.
Yeah.
And Jesus in turn has his hand placed in the hand of Our Lady and the sign of the hand for the blessing.
Yeah.
To show that he gives to her from himself, great gifts, and he himself wants to give us gifts. So it's a double whammy, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
And she's saying, but the reason all of this is because I'm bringing him to you.
Yeah.
Right? Because the distance between the infinite God, right, and the Creator God and the creature which we are, is insurmountable from our side.
Yeah.
So Our Lady brings Jesus to us. And so that we're not intimidated by it or threatened by it, the image is of a young child, either as an infant or as just a little boy.
Yeah.
So that we're confident that Our Lady is bringing us something that's not threatening. It's just, everybody loves a baby.
Yeah.
Don't they? So, and no one's intimidated by the presence of a baby or a child. And we take joy in children because of their simplicity and their, out of the mouth of babes. They say things and it just makes us crack up and that sort of thing. Like that. But we listen to what they say, don't we? Well, we listen to what they have to say because we want to know how they put it. We get so, what's the word for it? We become so complex in the way how we deal with different things that sometimes really when we speak we don't even know what we're saying ourselves. But when it comes like from a child, they say it the way it is, and we don't take offence.
And he revealed to you his love which comes from heaven. So she's trying to give us his love, through that, isn't she?
Yes, that's right, trying to give us the love of Jesus to us.
And then Our Lady says, "Your heart yearns for peace, of which there is less and less on earth." So we all want peace, but there's less and less on earth.
Well, there's a couple of things with that because we tend to look at peace in two ways. First is the absence of war. All right, so there's not that physical disturbance or that conflict, etc. But peace is a placid condition within us, that we are at peace. So someone who can be in agony, dying of something, of a cancer or whatever it was like that. And yet everybody notices, this person, they seem so much at peace. I mean, you can see they're in agony, you can see they're in pain, but they have this peace that's not it's not the conflict, because the body is in conflict with the cancer, etc. like that. But there's this something that is even deeper and something that is much better.
That's overcome them, the peace,
Well, that's right. They have this peace. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. You can still have a great deal of peace, which is that inner tranquility that you have in the way how our life is. St. Augustine himself said, my heart is restless until it rests in you. Because we're so distracted by things, and so we take things too intensely. Whereas with Christ, what need I fear? For Christ on my side, do what you like.
Beautiful. Then Our Lady said, that is why people are far from God and souls are sick and heading towards spiritual death. So she's, that's people who don't have this peace is what she's talking about.
Well, there are so many people who have so much, but they're not happy. They don't have this. They don't have this peace. They don't have the confidence. There's something lacking, even an insecurity that they have, and I think that's where we get the drug society from, and alcoholism and a lot of different things like that, because they haven't got the peace. They're looking for something because they haven't got God in it.
True. Well, we have to go to a break now. You're watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us. We'll be back very Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich and we're here with Fr Eugene Ashkar talking about Our Lady Queen of Peace's message from December the 25th, 2019 and followed by the 25th of January 2020. Welcome back to the program, Father.
Thank you very much.
And so we'll continue with Our Lady's message. She finishes with, I am with you, little children, to lead you on this way of salvation to which God calls you. Thank you for having responded to my call.
I think it's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Because if we are to be trusting like children, all right, it's a wonderful thing to have Mum come along with you and lead you and encourage you and take your hand and guide you.
Yeah.
Because there are times when we're just not too sure how we're not confident in the next step.
Yeah.
There is a certain lack of surety. You have when children meet and there's a group of people there and things like that. Say hello to so and so and say hello to this one. The child gets very shy. They flee back to the mother, and the mother is that comfort and that strength and that encouragement. And then from there they become more emboldened to be able to meet them, and they see how Mum is more friendly and Mum's relaxed, and so the child becomes relaxed. And I think there's really something in that image of my little children. I'm here to lead you towards what God God wants you.
That's such a beautiful way of saying it.
So I think that's what it is. We have so many helps, and Our Lady's help is singularly powerful.
That's so beautiful. And then we'll start with now with the message from the 25th of January 2020 for this new year. Our Lady said, Dear children, today I am calling you to pray even more until you feel the holiness of forgiveness in your heart. There must be holiness in the families, little children, because there is no future for the world without love and holiness. Because in holiness and joy, you give yourselves to God, the Creator, who loves you with immeasurable love. This is why He sends me to you. Thank you for having responded to my call. So I'll start with the first sentence. Beautiful, isn't it?
It is, yes. Yeah.
Our Lady said, "Dear children, today I'm calling you to pray even more until you feel the holiness of forgiveness in your heart." There's like something to work towards. If you don't feel that forgiveness in your heart, just spend that little bit more time in prayer and asking for the grace, and also thinking about the situation that you're in and how you can forgive, even if it's very, very difficult. I'm sure God will show us a way if we really ask Him with our heart to let us see ways that we can forgive when it's very difficult.
Yeah. The other thing too is, it just sort of came into my head when you're reading that one there, is understanding what prayer is.
Yeah.
All right. We, as Catholics, we have a different understanding of what prayer is from other Christian denominations. For a lot of them, prayer is praise and worship of God. Right? But for us, prayer is a dialogue.
Yeah.
You know, so so we have four aspects of prayer. We ask for things, we thank Him for things, we do worship Him, right? But we also do it to say sorry. And it's this dialogue that we identify that brings us into a relationship. And that's what our idea of prayer is exercising this relationship that we have with God, or with those who help guide us towards God. That will be examples to us, or will again intercede for us, or etc. Now we do say, okay, there's one intercessor, that's Jesus Christ. But if I asked you to pray for me, wouldn't that make you an intercessor?
Ah, right.
Who would you pray to?
God, Jesus.
Yeah, that's right.
Mary.
So it's this dialogue that's going on. In a way, my asking you to pray for me is a prayer asking you for something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you say, I will.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, and I say, thank you.
Yeah.
And so it's a dialogue.
Yeah.
And I feel better that I've got this support.
Yeah.
And I think this is really important, because the next bit of that sentence, until you feel the holiness of forgiveness in your heart, that, when I read that, I thought, that is one big ask. It is huge. Because what is it for us to forgive? It's an act of the will. It's a decision. I choose to forgive you. I can still be as furious as anything. I can feel outraged. I can feel insulted. I can feel, whatever.
Betrayed. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All these things. My feelings are not in line with the decision that I made. I don't feel happy about it. But if I'm going to follow Christ, I have to move on. So I make a decision. I forgive. But what this is saying is, pray that your feelings will follow, will accompany it. Right? That you will experience the feeling that goes with it. We don't forget. We've got memories. And when memories come back to us, we have feelings associated with it. But this is extraordinary. And Our Lady is telling us the way to bring our feelings into line is by prayer, by this dialogue with God, because we need to see it His way. We need to look at it from His point of view. And then it will follow. But it's a big ask. And that's why we really need to pray for it.
And sometimes I think it helps to forgive if you try and think of the mindset of someone else. Like I think, well, maybe they haven't had this in their life. They haven't been loved, or they haven't been, shown in a way to, an example of how to deal with this sort of thing.
Yeah,
It helps you to forgive as well. You try and understand the situation.
That's right. Yeah. And be sensitive to where they're coming from. All counselling in these sorts of things says, be aware of where you're at so that you can listen to exactly where they are at to be able to give them a proper hearing, to deal with them correctly.
Yeah, beautiful. We have to go to break now. You're watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich and our guest is Fr Eugene Ashkar. Welcome back to the program, Father.
Thank you very much.
And just to recap what we were talking about earlier, so if we try to understand someone's situation, it helps us to forgive, even if what they've done is wrong, like legally wrong even, or, to the world wrong.
Yeah, that's right. There's a child can do something wrong, right, without really understanding the consequences, etc., like that. Similar thing to us. This is when we say don't judge.
Yeah.
All right. That's not don't judge the action, but what it's saying is don't judge, because we have to judge the action.
Yeah, don't judge.
But we have to judge. We cannot judge the intention. Or the background from which they've come. Because we don't know whether they're even really aware of the consequences of the actions that they have taken. Or even thinking about it. So we can't judge their motivation, we can't judge the person, we can't say that person's an idiot or that person's evil or that person's... Well, we can say the action was wrong, right? And we can judge that and we can communicate with them and just say, look, do you realise that in doing this, this is what happens? And but we have to be open to that, like you say, being sensitive to where they're coming from, what position they're in, etc., like that. So it is a big... what can I say? There's a big need that this is what we need to include in our relationship. It's easy for us to forgive the person because if the person then the person goes, I never knew, I never thought of that. Well, I mean that's easy then to forgive them, isn't it? It's just, well, look, don't worry about it. It's just and we're at peace too because we just go, well, see, I haven't judged you, right? The action, and now all of a sudden you're enlightened. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, then Our Lady also said, there must be holiness in the families. Little children, because there is no future for the world without love and holiness. Because in holiness and joy you give yourselves to God the Creator who loves you with immeasurable love. I'll just do half of that. There must be holiness in the families, little children, because there is no future for the world without love and holiness.
Yeah, what is holiness? And holiness is otherness. And only God is other. All right, so it's God-likeness. All right, so it's being like unto God. And like when I said, the mind of God, taking on the mind of God.
Yeah.
All right, and why we need to pray.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
In this
First part,
dialogue, this relationship with God, that we take on His mind. And when we take on His mind, all right, then everything will flow from that. So if we take on a God-likeness in our thinking, we will take on a God-likeness in our action, a God-likeness in our joy, in our patience, in our kindness, in our tenderness, in our forgiveness, because we become more like Him. So holiness is taking on the mind and the heart and the image of God. And and being that touch of God in the lives of others around us.
And also trying to see Jesus in everybody if we can, like in ourselves and in others. If we live our lives, instead of seeing them, just see only Jesus, and then He's guiding us through them and through ourselves.
Yeah, well, and they can be in need too, like what Jesus said. Whatever you did this for the least of my brothers, you did it for me.
Yeah.
So yes, we do have to see Jesus in them. we have to see that we're reaching out to him.
Yeah.
And that we are being like him.
Yeah.
And responding to his call.
Yeah.
So there's lovely, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it is,
beautiful.
yeah.
Such a beautiful.
Sometimes you don't see the person in them too well.
Yeah,
but
sometimes
you
it's a challenge.
have to exercise.
Pray for it as
Yes,
well.
that's right.
Because in holiness and joy, you give yourselves to God, the Creator, who loves you with immeasurable love. Because in holiness and joy, you give yourselves to God, the Creator, who loves you with immeasurable love.
Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of people just love to look in the mirror, don't they? They love their own image. Well, the thing is, if you take on the image of God, you can see the image of God in the way how you deal with people, etc. And there's a joy, because nothing is more terrorizing for a person than to think, I have so much opportunity and I've wasted it. I've blown it. All right? But to say, I've done my best.
Yeah.
Isn't that what a lot of parents say? Look, I don't care what grades you get, as long as you can tell me you have done your best.
Yeah.
So a kid doesn't worry then coming and presenting a C or a D and say, but I actually did my best. The parents say, well, that's all I've asked of you. And the kid has a confidence given to them by God, because or by their parents. And the same thing with us in our spiritual life. We have a confidence to be able to approach God regardless of how well or how poorly we have succeeded. As long as we have striven to do it and cooperate with his grace,
Exactly.
then we have a joy.
Yeah. And then Our Lady ends it with, "This is why he sends me to you. Thank you for having responded to my call."
Oh, we love encouragement, don't we? and that's what Mary is there. That's what she's there for. She encourages us all the time. That's okay. It's like when the kid starts to draw or something else like that. Mum is as keen about it as if the kid's just drawn a stick figure as to whether they've done a Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the program, Father.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Will you come next week?
Oh, yeah, why not?
All right, we'll see you then. You've been watching Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich, and I hope you enjoyed the program with our guest, Fr Eugene Ashkar. And God bless you and keep you all happy, well, and safe and healthy. Bye for now.
Bring it to birth and blow.